Hello historical people, just wanted to share some thoughts that I've got on the I33 sword and buckler system. Now, I'm no expert, don't consider myself to know what I'm doing at all on a good day, but since I've been learning sword and buckler, it's about 6 months in now. I've only been working from I33 and some other stuff that I've seen online. I don't know many other people that train buckler. There's about 3 or 4 in my club at the minute that we sort of cycle around, but most of them are in different locations, so I don't see them too often. It's not a main weapon for me, but I do enjoy it. I'm enjoying it more and more, and I'm using some of the concepts that I found in the I33 system to see if they move over and work well with round shields. So bear with me on some of this stuff. A lot of it's just my interpretation, which, like I've said, is worth absolutely nothing apart from how it makes me feel, potentially. So some things that I've been finding that work really well with I33 that have improved my sparring, at least, is having those positions to go to. So if I throw an attack, I'll go, oh, okay, I know I'm close to a contraria there, or I'm close to a guard there, or there. These are all positions that I've been drilling, that I've got straight from the book. They just help keep you protected because you know where to go, and you're not concerned with attack, defend, attack, defend. You're just going attack, let's flow back into that custodia that I've already been drilling. So I'm always ending up in a happy position, right? That's been really valuable, and some of the people I've been fighting buckler against have commented on, because I'm in a position after I've attacked, they found it a lot harder to just come in and overwhelm me with cyclical attacks, because that seems to be a favourite of our sort of shield players at the moment. Instead of just sending one attack out, waiting, you know, repositioning, stuff like that, is they're sending a bunch of attacks whilst they try and open a space in your guard or something, and then, okay, you're getting overwhelmed with the attacks, staying on the defensive, and they'll just eventually overwhelm you and get you. But with the I33, it works really well against those sort of tactics, because once you've attacked out, you've got a position to move into. You've got multiple positions to move from, and that seems to work really well. But I suppose that's with any system. If you know the guards and the safe places to be, then you're gonna benefit from that a lot. When you're looking at some of the manuscripts, when you're looking at some of the videos online, you'll see people really focus on these perfect positions, like all the custodias, they're like perfect form. So the first custodia looks something like this, second it's close up like this, your third again is close up. When you get into something like the fifth, the buckler then comes out, and the sixth, that's out there as well. In sparring though, I found success when you're in first but the buckler's out, when you're in second and the buckler's out, as well as when I'm in second and the buckler's in, when I'm in first and the buckler's in. I think the buckler being in or out is purely situational. For me personally, when I'm moving back, retreating, or trying to be defensive, having that buckler out is really good. Another thing it's really good for is when I do want to attack, push that buckler halfway out, kind of messes their range perception up, and I can step in and get some hits off on the other end there. The buckler's a nice tool to mess with their perception. I don't think you need to be as strict when we're looking at the custodias. That, like, as a defensive position, this is great, but this is also just as good for 2 different reasons. Being in close allows me a lot better movement with my sword whilst that's out, although it's not much, and you can just twizzle that buckler around. You almost have slightly less surface area. I don't really know. Probably not, but I find that this is better on the attack. I've got more focus on my sword. The opponent's worried more about my sword. so that when I do switch to a defensive action and okay, I'm coming away, the buckler takes over. Now the range they've been comfortable with the sword is now swap places completely with a different weapon, different side of the body. I find it really useful to throw that out, tuck my feet back, and move into one of the custodians. That's nice. Another thing I'm not struggling with, but another concept that I think is a bit overrated maybe, part of the I33 scriptures, is the sword and the buckler always moving together. I've not actually read that myself, so I don't really see where that's come from. They've got a few, they call them contrarias, which are positions you move into, which they seem like attacks where the buckler and sword move together. So you've got the Halbschild is one of the contrarias. The underbind is a contraria, which you could sort of, it's more of a parry. You've then got the crook, which you could make a nice attack from. And then you've got the left and right covers, which you could have fallen into as an attack. They're kind of locations that I think if I'm attacking, I move into something like a crook or a left cover after my attack, and then, so to me these contrarias, they feel a bit more like a mid position. So if I've gone in for an attack, so I'll attack once there and then I'll do a Halbschild, or I'll immediately attack with a Halbschild straight into a crook underbind sort of guard, maybe something more like that. Yeah, it's weird. It's like I don't think of them as attacks. The Halbschild's quite a natural attack to do anyway, but boom, I'll move into cover there. Maybe I'll just turn that attack into a crook or a left cover. I don't know. I see where the utility in them is, but I think if you're always attacking with the sword and buckler together, if you're doing it all the time, it's something that the opponent's going to pick up on. So I still feel it's important to every now and again, oh, an attack comes out without the buckler, oh, but my next one down that same line will have the buckler. I think it's really useful to switch those up. So, okay, fine, my first attack came out without the buckler. Maybe the opponent's gauged that now. My second one with the buckler. And then, you know, you've got to, in sparring, it's important to keep things mixed up. You don't want to be doing the same motions all the time, especially if you're using a system like I33. It's quite popular. So people that suddenly take this position in sparring, people that I've sparred with at least, they've told me when they come up against somebody else that's pulled these positions, they go, oh, well, I know where they're going to attack from now, or I've got a good idea of how to deal with that because they've seen it before. So although we are following the same system, it's important not to stay glued to that one system, otherwise you become predictable, if that makes sense. So expect somebody doing I33 to attack with the shield and buckler together. I might have mentioned this in another video, but when I find with round shield sparring particularly, I found that because I'm always trying to move the sword and shield at the same time, I don't hold that shield back enough for me to actually use it defensively because it's always out. But yeah, overall, this I33 system, it seems to work. I'm doing okay in my sparring, but I've got very limited sparring partners that work with buckler anyway. So it's interesting so far, and hopefully I'll find more people that have more experience with bucklers and swords, and then we'll take it from there. Alright, hopefully you got something out of that. See you next time.